Hello, 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 everyone. My name is Roxanne Marion. Sorry, did not mean to flash anyone. My name is Roxanne Marion, and I am jumping on here to talk about mental health. It is Mental Health Month, and I'm usually on here talking about MS. But I swear to you, the two do coincide or collide. I believe the same thing. So I am here live on Miss Grace Glamour and Grit, Miss as in MS, Grace Glamour and Grit, and Awareness Month for MS on the Facebook side. Um, Miss Grace Glamour and Grit is on YouTube. So I want to come on here because I have been talking to you all about mental health the past few days, and it is Mental Health Month. So I can't lie to you, I'll be sticking with it. And that's for a couple of reasons. One is because I find it very important to talk about. Two is because I struggle with mental health. And three is because usually, if you have multiple sclerosis, one of the symptoms is depression. But something I found out about that little symptom of depression is that depression actually causes, or I shouldn't say cause, one of the signs of depression is impulsive impulsivity impulsivity. I apologize, I've been having trouble talking every so often, but being impulsive is one of the things that people who have depression struggle with. I know this because I struggle with being impulsive and did not realize that the one had anything to do with the other. So, because I can see this awful glare in my eyes, and I've been up doing this for a little while, I want to talk to you about it, okay? To Usually, a lot of times when people have or struggle with depression or any other mental health, I shouldn't say any other, there were very specific mental health issues that people who have them struggle with impulsive being impulsive, and that's probably the last time that I will do that because I see I'm struggling with that. And one was being having bipolar, one was ADHD. um Another that I saw on there was, I believe it was being manic, but don't quote me on that last one. So, why would being impulsive have anything to do with depression? And the reason is because people who are depressed are usually trying to find something that can bring them some amount of joy. And to do something that is impulsive is to do something rather quick. And a lot of people want that quick joy or to be happy quickly or to have something that it's not hurting them. They want that pain to go away quickly. So while I struggled with it this week and last, I found myself shopping a lot, like impulsive shopping. And I looked it up, and depression and being impulsive are two things that go together. So, this is how we can fight that. One of the things that you can do to fight being impulsive is to line up hoops. That's number one. Line up hoops. What do you mean by that, Roxanne? For instance, I have a friend who makes sure that in order to make sure she's not going to buy something impulsively, she makes sure that there's a particular person that she calls before she makes a major purchase, or even a purchase that she's not quite sure whether or not that purchase is necessary. And she will call this person, and they're one of those, they're the type of person who's very financially savvy and will let her know, well, why do you think you need to purchase this? What is it going to gain you? You know, all those questions that you ask yourself. Do you think you're going to be able to use it within the next week? Do you think you'll use it a year later from now? Do you have anything like that at home? Do you have anything, any specific reason why you have to buy it now? So I said it's jumping through hoops. You have to line up these hoops so it's not that impulsive that you purchase something. I have been using purchase because that's one of the things that I struggle with, is making impulsive decisions. So when I'm depressed, the thing that's going to make me happiest is to shop. Someone else might be in a position where the thing that's going to make them happier is food. What if that person always wants to have a comfort food or always wants sweets when they're depressed? Then they're always eating, and weight gain is going to be a problem. But you have to realize that there are other health problems that come along with eating all of the time, or eating sweets or certain foods all of the time. Someone else, it might be foods. Me, it's shopping. Someone else, it might be alcohol. Someone might drink a lot when they're depressed because they're trying to self-medicate themselves. And maybe that drinking is helping them not have to feel that pain when they're depressed. So consider lining up hoops. Number 2, decrease the accessibility. One of my biggest problems this the past couple of weeks is my how available my credit card is. I have my phone with me always, as most of us do. And it's so easy for me to see something that I want to buy when I'm watching on TV or when I'm on the computer. And if I don't already have the card memorized, I just pull it out and I'm purchasing something just like that. So don't give in to being impulsive by having things that are so accessible to you. Someone who likes sweets or certain foods, a refrigerator, of course, is going to be in your home, but don't stack it with certain foods. It might be easier for me to avoid eating ice cream when I'm depressed, but it wasn't always that way. So if you are someone who eats certain foods when you're depressed and you know you're struggling with depression right now, or even if you're not, just make sure it's not accessible. You don't have to stock your refrigerator or your pantry with it. If it's not a necessity, make sure it's not in your reach. Someone who might struggle with alcohol when they're depressed, you don't have to have alcohol in the house. If you're saying that, oh, but I like to have alcohol near because, I have friends over every weekend, have your friends bring the alcohol. Have your friends bring the alcohol, help them purchase it by giving them money to help out on that. But it doesn't need to sit in the house, especially if you're someone who lives by yourself and you know that you're more apt to go for the bottle. Make sure that it's not as accessible to you and keep it out of the house. Accountability partner, that's number 3, and my last one for for staying away from being so impulsive. An accountability partner is one who's going to hold you accountable. If you let a certain amount of people, I have 4 friends who are great accountability partners. If I tell them, I really want to accomplish this, they're always checking up on me. Hi, Laura. They are always checking up on me to make sure that I'm still going for that goal that I set. And they might question me once a week. They might question me 4 times a week because other people might come along and say, hey, Barbara. Other people might come along or no, I'm sorry, 4 times a week because they might take a day each to remind me what I said that I wanted to do. So they are great accountability partners. If you put and line up accountability partners, when you're feeling a certain way, one, most likely they're going to recognize it. And then 2, they might actually, be that person you always go to. If your friend is an accountability partner, you might let them know, hey, I've been going through a lot of depression. I really need to look out for how much I'm drinking. I need to make sure these things get out of the house. Or if you're someone who shops, just like my friend, the hoops that she has to jump through is if she's going to spend $100 or more, she has to call this friend and tell her, hey, I'm just about to spend money on this, whatever it is. I'm going to spend $150 on this piece of furniture, probably $650 on this piece of furniture to put in my living room. And they're so close that her friend knows, well, you're about to move in a year, so why are you spending money on furniture again? Now, that's a real friend, right? So she's able to call them. If you have an accountability partner that recognizes you've been in a sort of funk as of late and is checking up on you to make sure, I want to make sure you're okay and that you're not sitting at the table with a half a gallon of ice cream and all of your sorrows are going into that bowl of ice cream or the container of ice cream. But specifically with those things that are more dangerous than my shopping per se, you have to watch being impulsive when you are depressed, because it's just that joy for that moment. You really need to take care of what is causing you to be that depressed. Hi, Paulette. I have Paulette, Barbara, and Laura on the line. Thank you for joining me. I want to tell you what I am talking about. I'm talking about the connection between depression and being impulsive. And a lot of people might not realize that because a lot of people struggle with mental health, being impulsive is one of those things that make people feel that quick rush of joy or happiness or excitement. And although it might seem like the depression is taken care of, it really isn't. It's just in that moment that you've taken care of it. So I gave 3 ways that you can decrease that impulsive nature of depression. It was to line up hoops that you have to jump through before you do that one thing you might be impulsive doing. Some people might have alcohol around, some people might have food around. I'd like to shop impulsively. Make sure you have to jump through hoops to do these impulsive things. Decrease accessibility. I showed that on the back of my phone, I have a wallet and it has my credit card in there. And it's always so easy for me to just be like, whip the credit card out and just buy whatever I want. Or when I have that number memorized, unfortunately, I purchase things. So the past week and a half, I've been struggling and coming off of um, a an antidepressant that I've taken for 15 years. And the reason why I came off of it and stopped it cold turkey, which no one should ever do, but it was something between the insurance company and the doctor's office. And unceremoniously, I had to stop taking the medicine. So I've been struggling with depression. My vice is shopping. That is what I impulsively do. I think anything I can buy can make me happy. So the other part was to make sure that you do not have things accessible to you. If you're one who self medicates with alcohol, don't have alcohol in the house because you know yourself. And then the last one was accountability partners. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful accountability partners. This is going to be someone who knows you well enough to know, hey, I passed the refrigerator and I saw that there was a buy three get two free at the store, and you got 5 things of ice cream. Why? And unfortunately, yeah, there is actually a store here that I believe it's buy two get three free. And yeah, it's Harris Teeter here. And I can't stand it because my mom always buys ice cream for the great grands. And I'm like, I don't need ice cream. But for me, it's shopping. So if I have an accountability partner who recognizes that I'm not feeling well or that I might be going through depression, they might check up on me more often than not and make sure you're not spending too much. You're not going out to the mall. You're not shopping online. Those things. They'll check on me often to make sure that I'm not doing things that make me feel like make me feel as though I'm better, even though I'm not. So yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem, and I had not realized it except that it was something clicked with me today. Actually, I was like, why do I always shop when I'm struggling with depression? I think we are trying to buy happiness, and the happiness doesn't last. Correct, Paulette. The happiness doesn't last, and even that rush of joy that it brings us, we're still going to fall back into depression sooner rather than later, and that is what we need to be taken care of. And yeah, it's been a long haul for me. I actually feel like I'm coming off of that withdrawal, and I got to the doctor, another doctor. She's actually my primary care physician, and she let me know it's really hard to come off of the type of antidepressants I was on. And I got to tell myself later on that I was really proud of myself for knowing that it was going to be hard, but being an advocate for myself. The insurance company wanted to make the decision. They were like, we're not going to pay for it. And you know what? I was like, you don't have to pay for it. I just need to come off that medicine because I knew that if I've been off for 7 days, I'm never going back on that medicine again. So I got to make that decision. You play games that get you in trouble. Laura, which games? Is it with shopping or ice cream, or what games get you in trouble? And what stays in the box? You bought, isn't it awful? It was the worst. It was the worst feeling. Oh, thank you, Paulette. Thank you. It took everything in me to stay off of everything. Well, I didn't have any medicine, but to tell myself we're not going to go back on. But yes, Laura, I I'm with you. I buy and I buy and I buy. And I think today was the first time I may have thought of it before in the past, but today was the first time I actually sat at the computer and looked it up and read about it. And so I wanted to share that with other people who might be struggling with mental health, depression, anxiety, ADHD, any of that stuff, because I was really I've been struggling and I've been spending, and I wish there just wasn't any more money. But I think I have my accountability partner is going to have to be my mom, because she always is like, "Oh no, why are you buying again? You shouldn't buy that." She's so wonderful at telling me that. Um, Board games. You know what? I used to play Coin Master. Okay. Crockpot's still in the box. Yes, yes, yes. The things that stay in the box. The things that stay in the box. All your carts are full. Paulette, I love that. That is something that if you're really disciplined, you can keep things you can keep things in the cart. And sometimes keeping things in the cart and you going back to it a couple of days later, that helps to be like, you know what, I really didn't need it. I didn't need that. And you know what? I don't think I'm going to buy it. I love to do that. And I've found my carts full at times. And it is very addictive, Laura. And I had to take it off my phone. So, but I have a friend. He hates when I say that, because I said the same thing about TikTok. I was like, yeah, I had to take that off my phone because I was wasting full days laughing at TikTok. But yeah, Coin Master, I had to take off my phone. And I try not to have games on my phone that are addictive. Like, like those word games on there, they're cool and everything, but I'm not getting addicted to it. And there are other games I'm just not getting addicted to. But Coin Master was really bad for me. And TikTok, I've learned. Um, Instagram and Facebook, not so much anymore. So I'm glad about that. But I definitely want to jump on and make sure that everybody knew that not to give yourself such a hard time, because being impulsive and struggling with mental health, they're they go hand in hand. And sometimes we just don't even realize things like that and we beat ourselves up. But know that you will get through your mental health issues, and hopefully you will get through the impulsiveness of shopping, eating, or alcohol as well. So I'm glad I jumped on tonight, and I hope you all enjoyed that. I will let me know if there's anything else that you guys want me to talk about on here, and I would be more than willing to give some advice. I have some t-shirts that I have designed, because I always wonder about this. When people say, "How are you?" do we really say how we are? So it's a t-shirt that says, "How are you?" and it says, "Really." So I will make that available on the Facebook page as well as the YouTube page, because I think it's really exactly. We don't actually answer that the correct way, or we're not honest when we say, I've noticed that I have the same answer. I always get, "Oh, I'm doing well. Oh, I'm well. I'm well." And I'm like, Are you really? And that's where the idea of the t-shirt came from. Was I wanted to say, how are you? On the back, I wanted it to say really, but it's a really cute design. So I came up with that. So I will let you all know about that and probably go ahead and place it on the awareness for MS month, our awareness month for MS, on the Facebook page and on the YouTube channel, which is Miss Grace Glamour and Grit. So I will be talking to you soon. It was so nice to see you again, Laura. And I hope all of you have a great night. Bye.